guys, welcome back to the Trash Talk Podcast. My name's Emilio, and I'm here with my friend 8 Frames, because you can only see 8 frames of him at a time.
Hey, how's it going? Hi, my name's Rian, everybody. How's it going? Great to be back in another episode of the Trash Talk Podcast.
So it's been a minute since the last episode we did with my friend, and we're back. And as usual, we have a bit of some topics, and we're just gonna roll with it as we usually do.
We got a few, as we usually do. We have a few epic things we have in mind. Some things we talked about, some things we haven't. And all in all, we also haven't spoken since it's a dynamic. Wow, a very professional setup we have going here, Emilio. Wow.
Shut up! You record with your phone. Anyways.
Shut up, that's not on my phone. Ugh, professionalism.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you would be on your phone. Anyway, so we have some topics. Ryan wanted to tell a boring story. So
a boring story.
So we're just going to skip it and go to something interesting.
Fuck off. So we'll start off with mine just because of that. Just for context, Emilio has no idea what the story is or anything, so this is new for everybody aside from myself. This was a story that I actually remembered earlier today at work at the time that we're recording this, and I thought, you know what better place to share it than here on the podcast. This is a story from when I was younger. I think when I was like 8 or 9 years old, back when I had a very full set of hair, back when my Fortnite playing thumbs were, at their peak. This is an actual story too. There was I don't know, do you guys, in Mexico, Emilio, out of curiosity, do you guys have a clothing chain store known as Gabriel Brothers by any chance?
No.
No? Okay. I was just curious. So, the store's still there. It's in a town very, very close to my house. It's a city that basically has like a big shopping plaza, and basically it's the equivalent of, if you're going to a mall to hang out with friends, you typically go to that location for my area. So I went into there when I was thinking about 10 years old. I was there with my mom and my sister at the time. We went in there, typical clothing shopping affair, nothing very special or epic there. It was the interesting thing that happened for this story was at the very end. I went back to the bathroom. There was a large store, a bunch of clothing racks. I walked to the very back of the store, which is very far away from the registers. My mom and my sister were waiting at the front at the time. I went into the men's bathroom there on my own as a 9-10-year-old boy at the time. I walked into the stall and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go quick. We're going to leave. I don't want to be, shopping for clothes, boring and everything else. As I walk in, though, I notice a stall that was locked. Now, the interesting thing about this stall, it's not uncommon to see a locked stall in a bathroom. What is unusual is to see 2 men in the same stall with each other, moaning and groaning, and hitting the side of the stall.
What's so wrong
this about? This is not a joke.
What's so wrong about gay sex, Ryan? Why is that wrong? Wow, I didn't know there was a homophobe in this podcast.
You know what? They didn't ask me to get involved at the time, so I can't really comment.
Sometimes you're just at the mall with the boys.
There were 2 guys in the same stall, doing it, so to speak. And as a 10-year-old boy, I didn't know what. It felt very awkward, and I didn't really know what to do. It was a very intriguing experience. I immediately left the bathroom, went back up to the front of the store, told my mom, who promptly told the store, and they sent security back there, and I'm pretty sure they busted the 2 guys.
Man, you're a snitch.
Moral of the story. Shut the fuck up. I was 10 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I thought they were wrestling, just like my parents when I was a kid. I wasn't sure. Moral of the story is, though, kids, if you ever go to a Gabriel Brothers and you live in a country that has it, keep an eye on your bathroom stalls. That's the moral of this story.
Or if you're ever with your partner
that's about it.
At a Gabriel store, that the bathroom is the best place to, have some romance.
Yeah. Hey, call me. My number is engraved in like pretty much every stall that exists in any Gabriel Brothers. So
Yeah.
call me. You know where to find me.
I mean, sometimes I was saying, like, sometimes you're just at the mall with the boys, and someone gets a boner, and you're just like, well, we gotta get rid of it.
Yeah,
We've all been
the
there.
dick slip happens. Very professional. Yeah, it's happened to me a few times.
Yeah.
Been walking around the mall with my friends, and someone you see a dude's dick, and you're like, we're professional about this. No handling, no shipping and handling involved. No,
Yeah.
nothing. Just
Yeah, no
hey,
kissing.
epic night with a boy. I wouldn't imagine kissing would be part of this equation, but hey, everyone has a kink, right? We don't kink shame here on the. We
Well,
don't. There's no kink shaming here.
well, it's kind of. I don't think being gay is a kink. But, anyway, sometimes yeah, you're
All
just at the mall with the boys.
Yeah.
But well, my story
Right.
isn't as funny as that one.
Yeah. What's your story?
But I mean, at least we have clickbait for this episode. It's like you'll never guess what I found at the bathroom of this department store.
Obviously.
And well, no, this week was a weird one.
I would love it if someone watches this and they have the exact same experience.
Maybe it was the people listening were inside that stall. Like, how do you not know they're not listening to
Oh my
this
gosh!
right now?
What if they listen to this podcast? I'm sorry if you guys got arrested. I apologize. I was a kid. That's what I'm saying.
As we all know, sex is a sin.
Absolutely. That's why I haven't had it yet.
Yeah, same. It I'm trying to tell my story, which is like a serious subject, but we keep laughing about something this dumb. But like basically,
Stupid. All right.
my neighbor's house burnt
Go
down. So great transition.
Not epic.
Um,
Yeah, great.
yeah, it was this Wednesday, I think it was. Like I was just here in my house, and like in the morning, it was like smelling really weird all day, and I thought, oh, the neighbors are smoking weed again. But no, it wasn't that.
No, their house was smoking something.
And then my mom goes outside and she sees this cloud coming out of the neighbor's house. And suddenly, like, the fire department was called, the police was called, and like at one point they wanted to for us to evacuate the neighborhood because for some reason
Oh crap!
the
My gosh! How big was the blaze?
it's not that it's the guy whose house was burning. He had like gas tanks, so they were worried they would explode.
Okay.
But then nothing happened, and
I thought for a sec you. Okay.
So yeah, they just told us that everything would be fine. So we didn't actually have to evacuate.
I was gonna say, I thought for a sec you were gonna say like the guy was like a big mafia head or something, and he was just gonna go around the neighborhood finding out who's responsible for burning the house down.
I think someone just left the beans on the stove.
I would hope that wouldn't be the reason.
I
would
mean,
really hope not.
Isn't that the best reason though? Because like it's better than some.
You smell the beans.
Like if some asshole was playing with matches inside your house and then kaboom. Like I think Bean's story is better.
Oh, okay. Are you still gonna hold that over my head? That was like 2 years ago when I met you. All right. One time I lit one match, I threw it in your toilet, didn't even light anything. Yet you're still upset about this for some reason.
Yeah,
Come
I
on, it wasn't
apologize
that bad.
to President Putin, but
What? I FaceTimed him one time, and suddenly, now I'm the public enemy here. Wow. You guys don't need to worry about that. Putin blocked me, by the way, just so we're clear. I can't call him anymore. But seriously, though, that sounds really awful.
Yeah.
Having like a fire happen so close to your house. No joke. But now that you mention it, something like that happened to me. Not to me personally, but to the neighborhood that I live in. A bunch of my family members are part of it. My aunt, my aunt and my uncle's house burned down a few weeks ago, like a month or two ago, actually. They lost their entire house. I don't know the reason why or anything like that, but the entire house burnt to the ground. The only thing left as of right now that I've seen, because I drive by it constantly, is like the foundation. They lost pretty much everything. They're staying somewhere else right now where they're getting the house rebuilt, but I know people who've had like a similar experience when it comes to like their house burning.
Well, I mean, his house didn't burn down. Like, the building is still there, so it's not like...
Okay, that's good at least.
I haven't seen the
Not
inside
the
of the
case
house.
for my aunt.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
the foundation is fine. It's just like the kitchen's all burnt, probably. I'm guessing that's where the fire started, anyways.
It's probably like really singed or something like that. I imagine there's probably has to be some decent damage to it, possibly, unless the flame was like more self-contained within the building itself.
Maybe.
Obviously, I wouldn't know, but
Yeah, but yeah, that's what happened this week, and also one of
very epic.
in the last part of this podcast, I guess, because we're running out of topics, we have to talk about how Ryan's friend is an anti-Semite. Take it away.
Yes, topics. We just started and we're already running out of topics. Fuck off. We barely get to it. We've got over me walking in on two guys having sex in a stall and then house fires, and suddenly we're now out of topics. But yes, we have a actual topic that Emilio brought up to me the other day, which was like the main affair, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting one.
So, I mean, I feel like we can say their name because, it was a very public matter, so I don't think...
I mean, it became a public matter. I argue in cases like that, when you put that kind of opinion out on the internet, it becomes a public affair. Right there and then, because you chose to put that out online, if that makes sense. Because if you want to make that kind of statement, and you put it out there, people are going to run with it no matter what. So it's now a public kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So one of Ryan's frequent collaborators, I don't know if they still make videos, Master of the TDS, was dragged on Twitter for supporting Gina Carano. And if you don't know who that is, she was, I think, on The Mandalorian, and she was recently fired because of some transphobic and anti-Semitic comments.
Mm-hmm.
And your boy Master of the TDS was supporting her.
Just before we get into like the in-depths of it, because Emilio had brought this up to me, I was not aware of the situation before it initially came up. I want to say this, like Emilio had mentioned before, TDS has been a friend of mine on the internet for a few years now. He had left first, came back a few months ago, and started up doing therapy videos and whatnot on a different channel. Just want to say TDS has been a friend of mine. However, some of the statements that he has made, and that just the concept of doing it in general for the internet, I do not agree with, and that's part of the thing that we're going to talk about here. Just want to preface that by saying that.
Yeah, I never really met him. I just knew him via Rian, and I don't know. It did come out of left field. Not gonna lie.
It was honestly, it was like as soon as you told me that, I was like, because out of all the times I've interacted with him, out of all the times that we have done like podcasts we've done before, like years ago, like when I first started doing podcasts, way before Trash Talk, and like Yu-Gi-Oh collaborations we've done, and I met him through a fellow YouTuber of ours as well, like that we're both friends with. Nothing like that ever came out of TDS. I never expected anything like opinion-wise like that, or even just statement period, which was a shock to me personally as well.
Well, that sort of thing happens. That's what the internet's
does
for.
From time to time.
For finding out that your friends are racist secretly.
To count, Emilio rejected me on Tinder, which is a story we've never told. Maybe we will one.
Maybe one day. If this video gets 500 likes, I think we will do it.
This is the thing. We both know it's never going to reach that, so we never have to share the story. I'm agreeing with you, bro.
Thank you. I don't know why you just fisted the camera, but...
No, but just continuing on with the situation. Basically, Emilio had told me, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, something like that, like Friday or something.
Yeah, I would say it's like Friday or something. TDS on his public Twitter had made some opinions regarding his thoughts on the. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing her name. The actress from The Mandalorian was what she was well known for in recent television history. Made some very racist and very borderline, actually, no, not even borderline, like homophobic statements that were dug up from old tweets she had made.
Transphobic.
And
It's not technically the
transphobic,
same.
well, transphobic. I apologize. There were a lot of statements made toward groups that should not have been made. Don't agree with them at all. It is terrible, shitty, and we've seen plenty of examples of it with even popular actors nowadays. The thing that got really bad as far as this topic goes, TDS made some very public statements on his Twitter that ended up picking traction. I went and looked at his Twitter account before this just to kind of get my phone up, and then made other tweets defending his statements and whatnot, which we'll get into. But again, I want to say, surprising to me about the stuff that he had made publicly on there. I'm still in shock over it because he's been a good friend on YouTube for a while, and it's hard to process.
Yeah, I don't know. I think recently I haven't felt like super comfortable with the idea of discussing Star Wars topics on the internet because I know it's gotten very toxic. Like,
Yeah, well, we'll pretend we never ranked all of the movies like in a past podcast.
Like that's the thing. Like, we can just talk about the movies and have a discussion. But when you bring in like stuff like what happened to the actress that played Rose, right? Like, you're basically killing the discussion of movie criticism. Like, it stops being criticism and it just becomes hate speech.
Which is terrible in itself. Everyone has an opinion, which is fine. That's normal for human beings. But it's the way that you vocalize certain opinions and how much, as I've discovered too myself, how much you know about topics and whatnot, how in-depth you understand things. And when it comes to the point where no one is allowed to have an opinion, even if it's genuine criticism and you get attacked for it online, there is a problem. There is a fine line between making good points and knowing what you're talking about and making criticisms. And then there's another thing where you make uneducated guesses on the internet, and that's whenever you get the hate. That's typically, when people complain about it, it's because they don't know what they're talking about. Typically, that's what I've seen when it comes to this kind of thing.
I mean, you had a close call recently, didn't you, bud? Ah, crap, the internet crashed again. So we're back. This is the second technical difficulty break we've had this episode. I'm sorry. I have no idea what's going on in Ryansville, Pennsylvania, but the internet's apparently very bad.
Ryansville, Pennsylvania. I don't know what's going on in Smelly Cheeseville, but both our connections right now have been kind of crap. So, regardless, though, we're working out the kinks as we go. But picking up from where we were before, yeah, just that kind of thing, trend-wise, period, is just never. Yeah, like we were saying before, just the trend of that kind of thing happening, period, online when it comes to expressing those kinds of opinions, you are bound to pick up on people when you sick opinions like that, and it infuriates me more now than what it has in the past. Just seeing the kind of toxicity that exists, especially with something that used to be for a long time, and as Emilio mentioned before, with something like character from The Last Jedi, Rose, that became a controversial issue in itself. So did the Rise of Skywalker, the exact same case. What I'm saying is Star Wars isn't the only example, but it's been a primary example. And for this, it just explains everything well in one. Gosh, it still shocks me right now. I'm still in disbelief. It's you got to process the entire thing. It's weird.
Well, that's pretty epic, Ryan. That's pretty epic that all your friends are racists.
That's bullshit. I guess that makes you racist then too, doesn't it, buddy?
I'm not your friend.
Damn, that's right. I paid him to be here. I paid him to talk to me for all these years.
Your mom's
monthly
been paying
transaction
every month. I got $200 to text you.
Jeez, you must be really cheap then. She paid the last guy like $5.
The last guy? Isn't that worse? No, it keeps bugging. I hate this.
Alright, Emilio, I'm going to try something once. I'll be back here in a few minutes. I'm going to turn my phone off, and I want to see if that helps, because it has helped the connection in the past. Stable. No, the boss is epic peak YouTube content, you dingle.
Anyways, guys, we're back.
We are back. I'm just testing to see if it works without me using my camera.
Yeah. For everybody, just in the video, I'm just gonna put a picture of Ryan. This is how he actually looks.
So we can probably put Roger the alien from like American Dad or something in there instead of my actual face.
I don't know who that is. I'm gonna put in a picture of the guy from Megamind.
In case, you know what? I'll take it. It's better than what I said, so you know what? You can't see it, but I'm giving a thumbs up.
Anyways, I'm just gonna look at myself in the webcam for 30. How long we can keep going, but
I should be able to be fine now. As long as the internet stabilizes out, we're good.
yes, it will. Anyway, so yeah, TDS hates everybody who doesn't like, who likes The Last Jedi or whatever. Which technically we don't like The Last Jedi too. So does that make us racist?
That's true. I mean, well, possibly. The difference is we haven't bitched about it on social media is the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the kind of thing that led into it too. Out of everyone who I've ever met on YouTube, for example, not speaking toward anyone in my personal life, when it comes to the online friends that I have, like Emilio, for example, I have not met anybody in the small YouTube community like that who has made outright statements like that, at least that I have known. Now,
I mean, we had a discussion in a last episode of the podcast that got kind of heated.
Yeah, might as well bring it up now, just because it kind of ties into it. So Emilio and I were going to record an episode where Emilio had me do a political test, where I would see where I stand politically after answering a bunch of sick questions.
A political compass test. That's the
all right, fine. So using the technical term of a shitty test on politics. Yes, we ended up doing that. Basically, an opinion that I wasn't completely educated on a certain political topic that I didn't fully know. Emilio and I got into a debate on. Now, Emilio knew a lot more about it than what I did, and upon talking about it and then looking back on what we had talked about, it made me realize more that particular topic I didn't really know much about. And believe it or not, that was the first actual... I think that was the first ever actual argument I think we ever actually had. No joke, on the podcast, on YouTube.
Regarding a serious topic, right? Because we argued about Star Wars, for example, or Marvel movies.
I mean, yeah, but that's banter and whatnot. That's joking, nerdy shit. That's
that doesn't actually matter in real life.
No, but
unless you're master of the TDS.
Unless you're But when it came down to a serious political issue, Emilio and I clashed on opinion, but the difference was my opinion wasn't fully formed, and I'll freely admit that I wasn't completely right in that situation, and I apologized to him about it afterwards. Yeah. But I said, I didn't want that to come between us because I didn't fully know. I argue that kind of makes the relationship stronger, though, in a way too, when you go through stuff like that.
Oh, why? Yes, it does. I feel like at the same time, it wouldn't, because you did feel that remorse, and we did get to have that conversation. I would feel really bad if I just posted it without context. So that's why I pulled the episode, because a lot of the things we talked about, a lot of issues for some people aren't as apparent to other groups. So you're not born knowing that this sort of things happened.
No, because to be honest, that particular issue we had talked about, when it's going on in your country, fully aware of the scale until you brought it up.
Yeah,
which kind of contributed to I didn't fully know in that regard. Now that I do know that information, though, it allows me to form a much more broad and I think accurate opinion on it than what I have now. So, and that's something that I love about doing this too. Meeting Emilio, for example. Emilio is probably one of the most in-depth YouTube personalities, in the small YouTube community that I've known. He doesn't make great content, but he's a good friend.
Your videos are shitty, but you're right.
And I think that's the kind of thing. I don't know how Emilio probably hates me.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just friends with him because of the subscribers, really.
Yeah, that's the one subscriber he probably didn't gain from me whenever we've done those old collaborations.
Yeah.
But for real, though, I think that kind of thing makes you stronger if you do it right. If you're willing to be open-minded to those kinds of topics and subjects, and if you're talking with, let's say, a friend, family member, whoever, in our case, online friends, but it makes you better afterwards because you communicate about it. You don't
Yeah.
instantly hate each other for it, and then like, oh, I'm never going to talk to you for the next decade or so because of that.
Yeah.
And I think again that makes the bond stronger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it also goes back to like one of the major problems with uh, political discourse online is that a lot of people just don't want to hear opinions from the other side, or certain sectors feel neglected by a certain area of the political spectrum, for example.
Yeah, it does make sense too. Which and that's the kind of thing that kind of ties into the difference between this situation like me and Emilio had like weeks back and this one with TDS. TDS I had known for longer. Well, not long. Well, I met you in what 2018, 2017.
2017, yeah, but like I feel like you've known TDS for way longer.
Well, I've known TDS for like longer than you. Like I met him back in like 2016, and he's been a good online friend of mine, and I'm not going to deny that. However, the difference being that Emilio and I have gotten to know each other a lot better than what I have TDS.
Yeah.
Mostly like through the podcast and like various other things. We've gotten to know a lot more about each other through that. And that's something I think that's made us better friends in that extent. TDS and I, we lost communication for some time. I don't know if something had changed, but just the fact that someone I knew so closely online, like especially like in the YouTube community, in fact, which a lot of people I know can relate to, it's shocking when you see that kind of thing out there. Also, in general, even without the relationship angle, it's just a terrible thing to do.
Yeah.
If you have those opinions, as shitty as they are, keep them to yourself. No one wants to see them online. You don't have to rant and rave about them. And the thing that gets me, too, is the post itself wasn't just, like, outright stating the opinion. It was making, like, a joke or a meme out of a serious topic.
Yeah.
It's not just what you're saying, it's how you're conveying that message, too.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's complicated because at like the same time, I don't feel like it's like with our sort of debate regarding that topic that shall remain nameless. I guess. Have fun in the comments guessing what it was.
It was popcorn.
Yeah, it was. Are blue Doritos? Should blue Doritos be legal? Now,
Yeah, are
as you all know,
Doritos good?
yeah,
No, they're not.
yeah, I don't like them either. Actually,
No, they're bland as hell.
yeah, they taste like ass. Anyway,
Absolutely.
so, anyways, no, it wasn't the Doritos thing, but the thing is, like, it's kind of harder to debate. Like a lot of people on like more progressive ideas say it's not such a good idea to debate people that have like maybe not all the same views that TDS has, but a little further down the right, because then it stops being a debate and it becomes just like a showcase. It's not really so much about being right. It's more about taking advantage of this platform to grow your possibly dangerous ideas. So, you know,
Yeah,
there's like a
and
thin line there. Like,
there is a fine line when it comes to creators who, no matter how small in this community, when you make a statement like that publicly on the internet, that you're going to gain some form of traction, especially when it's on a hot topic like a former Star Wars actress who played on a very popular IP. Like, that kind of thing is going to pick up quick, no matter what opinion you have. I want to say this, too, for that. I'm not... TDS as a person, I don't know in depth, but the interactions I've had with him, I considered him a friend here. Just his actions in this situation, I do not agree with. And the opinion itself, as shitty as it is still up to debate for the viewer, so to speak, who sees it. Which, again, do I personally agree with it? No, not at all. But the opinion itself that other people formulate is up to the individual. I will say that one thing that I have never liked when it comes to that kind of thing is keep it to yourself. Like I mentioned before, posting that kind of stuff online is like the YouTube drama scene. When you post something out there publicly, knowledge, that's out there in the public domain. Anyone has a right to talk about it at that point because you decided to make that public information.
yeah,
the crappy part about it is
at the same time, if you have a sort of dangerous mindset, how are you supposed to realize that it's wrong? I feel like it's not so much about if you post it, it's how you react after it, right? Because, like, for example, I say something extremely racist right now, right? And
you
call
already
me...
did.
Oh yeah, the
You called me-
Doritos thing.
Yeah, the Dorito. You insulted my
Anyway.
Doritos preference. Ass.
Anyways. So yeah, let's say, and then Ryan comes out at me and he says, "Yo, this is actually not so good for to say." Blah blah blah.
Yo, that's kind of racist, man. I love Doritos.
Yeah, and then it depends on how I respond. If I go, "Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I won't do it again."
So,
Or you can double down, and I feel like that's worse. I feel like
well,
then there's an issue.
and I agree with you there too, because what I was going to go into is like a two-part thing. One, it's the initial making of the statement, but then it's how you handle it afterwards. I think I agree is the most important part of it. Because if you learn from that situation, it's what you do with that bad situation afterwards. If you decide to learn from it and move on, or you decide to, as you said, double down on that point.
Yeah.
From what I understand, and I think you've seen it too, I believe that the point that TDS had made was doubled downed on, I believe.
Yeah. Double down on.
I love double stuff Oreos.
Oh man, I like regular Oreos.
Well, you know what? We're at a difference of opinion here. Emilio is always wrong, everyone. Double
Yeah.
stuff Oreos.
If you like double stuff Oreos, I feel like that means you hate black people. Basically.
You know what? If you like individual Oreos, you probably hang out outside playgrounds in black vans. I mean white vans. Damn it.
Here he goes again, hating black stuff on Black History Month, nonetheless.
Gosh damn it!
Anyway,
this topic is bad.
Anyway, side note, like, if you've never been to the U.S., like, my favorite thing about there is the different Oreo flavors. I think you guys got a nice Oreo game over there.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. You know what? I love the Oreo flavors we have is great. I put dirt in between two Oreos once, and it tasted amazing. Dirt flavor is going to take off, guys. Mark my words.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Wisconsin thing. You can tell me if maybe this happens in the majority of American households. I love how we just stopped talking about, racism online and just shifted to Oreos, but whatever. We can just...
Yeah, we might as well just talk about... let's just do an Oreo-centered episode, just ranking all the Oreo flavors.
Anyway, so I noticed that every house had like a package, an Oreo cookie box. And I remember something I used to do to my cousins was that I would grab the Oreo box, I would open it, and then I would open up the cookie, take out the cream, and then put them back in the box.
Oh, dude, that's not exclusive to just one house. That happens all the time. Everyone takes the cream out first. It's the only way to eat Oreos.
Yeah, but I would put the cookie part back, so when my cousins grabbed it, they didn't realize.
It's like the same concept of taking a bag of potato chips and licking all the salt off of it. And then putting the chips back in the bag so there's no actual salt on the chips.
That's oddly specific. I've never done that before.
Well, the thing is, I've eaten a few potato chips in my day.
Maybe that's that's the East Coast equivalent of the Oreo thing. Yeah, maybe the Oreo thing's more Midwestern.
I've never done that. It's not to my knowledge. I have never done that.
Dude, if you lick all the potato chips on the bag just so that no one tastes salt on them, you need help, buddy. You need
then in that case, do not open up the package that is currently being sent to your house. There's like 3 bags of Lay's potato chips in there. Now, I can't guarantee that they haven't been licked, but you can taste yourself and tell me what you think.
Fun fact about Lay's chips, they have different names depending on the country. So, for example, Lay chips in South Africa are called lion chips.
And in Antarctica, they're called non-existent.
Yeah, because the government there banned them after the incident. We've discussed this.
A bunch of penguins died. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. It's like really bad. Anyway, so back to TDS.
What a transition.
Yeah. I just hate this show so much, how we just can't stick to one topic. And
no, I think that's a good thing too. We talk about it.
But it happens at the worst time every goddamn moments. Like, we're talking about something important, and then it's suddenly, hey, Ryan, have you ever noticed how blue Doritos taste like ass?
Have you ever licked all the cream filling out of an Oreo cookie? Also, racism's bad.
Yeah, it's like, yo, the thing that happened this last summer with Black Lives Matter was pretty interesting, and it led to big discussion.
So 3D Doritos just really suck. like I said, it's a dynamic that I honestly do enjoy. Like we talk about serious topics on here, but if you don't have fun spliced into that either, then what's the point? Sometimes it can't all be morbid.
I mean, we're both not like political commentators. We're more, I guess, fall under the lines of comedians, quote unquote. So
comedians,
it's like,
quote unquote.
We have to break the awkwardness with like an Oreo commentary as well.
I mean, it kind of like the early days when we started doing this together, that was the definition of awkward. Now we've kind of formed this for whenever we're doing an episode, we have an actual underlying topic sprinkled in with a few things here and there.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're watching this, it's just me standing next to a picture of Megamind. So, like, it's like, what the fuck is this show?
See, I need to do a review of Megamind one day.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It is an underrated gem. You guys need to watch it if you haven't. We should talk about it one day. Not today, but one day.
I watched it the other day with my sister. We were watching, like, DreamWorks movies.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, and I told her, let's watch Over the Hedge. And for some reason, my sister has, like, this weird... Like, she has, like... We watched it when we were very young, and she has, like, this weird memory or, like, trauma about it. So she's kind of, like, has, like, some serious... I don't know if it's okay to call it PTSD.
Like the animals in the movie?
Yeah, like it's like a fear she has. I don't know, it's weird.
That's weird. Emilio's sister's secretly a furry. Why?
My sister is furry phobic secretly? It's like,
yeah, I was half hoping she was gonna walk in.
It's like, why are you furry phobic? My best friend Rian is a furry.
Stay out of my damn closet, man.
I'm sorry, dude. Like, I told you I wanted just to borrow a jacket, and then we went to your parents' wedding with me wearing a fursuit. It was very embarrassing.
I mean, I was going to say, like, why were you at my parents' wedding? Is going to be my question. That was, like...
It's like a whole thing. It ties into the Antarctica thing.
Wait, so were you the one in the Barney suit, then?
No, I was in the Fox suit. I don't know who the person in the Barney suit was, but...
I owe the guy in the Barney suit an apology. I thought it was you. I set his suit on fire and threw him in a river right outside the banquet. I owe him an apology. He still has third-degree burn scars from that.
Oh, shit. Anyway, so Master of the TDS goofed up.
Yeah, and that... great transition. Yeah, just the big reason that we were talking about this, too, I think it was like two reasons for me, at least. One, it's because it's someone I know personally in the community who... messed up in a big way with the big topic. Two, it also emphasizes just how people do this kind of thing when they post or they say or they do whatever it is when it comes to controversial opinions, and they decide to make a joke about it, and then they double down on those points afterwards. Everyone is allowed an opinion. That's not what we're saying here. Everyone, even if it's a bad one, fine, whatever. That's your opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with it. I don't agree with like TDS's opinion or not. However, I will say there's a right way and a wrong way to do things like that. And the way that TDS had handled it, I'm sorry, but it is wrong.
Yeah.
And TDS, if you're watching this, man, I'm sorry, man, but you're a friend, but I don't agree with what was done here. I can't. Sorry.
I mean, I feel like, because this is the first time I've realized one of my friends kind of dicey in that way. Because, like, a while ago, I was just cruising through Facebook, and one of my friends from middle school posted, like, these really anti-Semitic cartoons. And it's weird, right? Because, like, you know this person in real life, and you don't really think that that's, like, something that they believe in.
Yeah. And I know what someone might be thinking. Like, it's not the same thing to an extent. I don't know him in person, but I've known him for several years online, and I've done things with him in a content sense personally. And that's still kind of equivalent. It's still a relationship, a friendship of sorts, and that is still something that heavily impacts, because this is the first time online for the YouTube community that this has happened to someone I've known. It's still weird.
I mean, look at it this way: like, you're just having sex in a bathroom of a clothes store, and suddenly, the other guy says that they're not that happy with Jewish people. So you're just like. Like, what the fuck? Like, we were vibing.
It'll put you in an awkward position. Either you finish up and get the money you were promised, or you walk out, get arrested, pepper sprayed, and you still don't get paid.
Yeah,
You know, it's
because
like,
a
what you want me
10-year-old
to do?
snitched you out to their mom. Like, what the fuck?
I apologize to those guys if they're watching this. Guys, if you got arrested for public indecency, first off, you definitely deserved it. But second off, call me.
Couldn't you guys waited till you got home? Like,
I'm legal now. So I think we're good.
I mean, I don't know if we can find the Gregory's bathroom, but if you want to hit up H&M, I mean, you know.
Look, I will settle for McDonald's. My standards are getting lower here, but I will settle for a McDonald's parking lot bathroom.
What's
Just
like
one of those
the
outhouses.
worst food restaurant to have sex at? I feel like
I would say
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven really counts as a full restaurant, though. That's a gas station
Okay, that's
convenience
a fair
store.
point.
Like full restaurant. Like,
Subway.
let me think about that. Like, you know what? That's a good point. Yeah, Subway would be a bad place. There were 2 instances where people had 5-inch long knives stuck in their sandwiches. So yeah, anything's possible. If they're sticking that in their sandwiches, what are they sticking in people in the back? You know, you never
like,
know.
why is your asshole filled with crumbs? I don't know.
So that's where my sub sandwich went. No, I don't want to buy that still.
Who put a foot long in my ass?
If you can fit a foot long in your ass, that is contact Guinness right away. I don't think there's a record for that.
That's
and
pretty
if there
impressive.
Well, that would be pretty impressive, actually. I'm not saying I would love to see it, but, you know, I'd be curious.
Yeah, I feel like for the meme, you know, it's like I don't know. I would have many questions.
I mean, when it comes to that, absolutely. Like, that would be terrible. Like, my word. But just even talking about, like, all this, like, excess, like, stuff and whatnot, like, the main thing that we wanted to talk about with, like, TDS was what we basically had covered, was the concept of political commentary, especially in this sense online, and just the personal, again, I don't know how well you knew Emilio, or, like, how well you, like, heard of him, but for me,
I only knew him through you. So, like,
maybe not as much for Emilio then, but for me, this is, like, more personal, just because it's someone who I've known for years on YouTube, and someone who has been a closer friend on here, and someone who, the last I talked to him before he came back, it was a very kind of emotional-ish conversation, because I never thought I was going to be able to see him again. And here, 2 years later, here I am, seeing this.
Roasting him on a podcast.
I wouldn't say roasting on a podcast, just giving honest opinions, and just we're spitting facts. I mean, that's what happened. No one else posted it but him. Like, that, I hate to see it that way, but it is what it is.
Yeah. That's it. I guess that's it for today's show.
That's it. We've covered so many things for this episode. It's fantastic.
Oreos, sex at a changing room or whatever.
It's Gabriel Brothers. Come on, you can't even remember that one detail.
The store doesn't exist. Like, you should have, internationalized it. Like, oh, they're doing it at H&M or something. I don't know. Forever 21.
Wow. All right then. Fine then, Adam and Eve. Settle down there. Not everything has to be international.
For those of you who don't know Adam and Eve, it's like this really cool place where you can get like a Bible, like, send your grandma a package from Adam and Eve.
Oh, gee, way to explain the joke to the 15-year-olds out there, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Wow. Ruined it. Soiled it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Anyways, use our coupon for Adam and Eve.
Get 15% off your next order by using code TRASHTALK at checkout.
Yeah, and you can have your dildo engraved with our names. That's, like, pretty cool.
Yeah. All whips and lotions, buy one, get one free.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's podcast. You can follow me on all my social media. Link is in the description. You can
Megamind is no more.
Megamind is no. I can still see Megamind. I don't know what the editors are doing, but sure. Follow me on my social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just did a really cool video, and I don't even know what it is about. About Uganda or even High School Musical. I don't know. And you can send us a voice memo through Anchor if you're listening there. But you can also find us on other platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Pocket Podcast, and many more, and on YouTube as well for the video version where you can see me talk with Megamind about systemic racism and shoving up a foot long up your ass.
Absolutely. Peak quality content, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to follow me on any social medias, follow me at DeBoss Official, where I do retro gaming content now more, as well as skit content, meme content for all your goodness. Check out the Nostalgia Factor, the channel that I haven't uploaded on in a while, but check it out anyway for all your retro gaming goodness. And follow me on Instagram at RANBITTNER if you're interested in keeping up with my very infrequent Instagram posts. Please and thank you.
I just heard Stream Megamind on Netflix.
Yep. Use coupon code. We got to do that one day. Not stream Megamind, because that video would get shot down so quick. But you know.
Live analysis of Megamind.
Might as well. Why not?
Anyways, yeah. Anything else you want to add? Yeah.
Other than that, guys, you know, keep PS safe from the Trash Talk podcast. Keep yourself clean online, otherwise you'll end up on this podcast, and that's a fate worse than death. Don't let that happen to yourselves, please. And shove subs up your ass.
Next time you go to Subway, you know what to order.
We're not responsible. I'm not responsible.
Can I get a foot long up the ass? That's how you... Can I have the Trash Talk special? That's how you're supposed to ask for it.
That's gonna be more than $5.
Anyways, guys, goodbye.
See ya.